France has began waking from its slumber and has quickly realized that it is no longer a colonial power that continues to hold dominance over its so-called African colonies. This has been evident by numerous coups in the former French colonies and the increased rejection of French foreign policies in those states and overseas territories. With the expulsion of French ambassador to Niger and their troops in months to come, the matter seemed rather serious to France that it was brought before the French Parliament to discuss what the way forward would be.
Avec les putsch au Niger, au Gabon cet été, votre politique néocoloniale et impérialiste.
With the coups in Niger and Gabon this summer, your neocolonial and imperialist policy in Africa has experienced one of the greatest setbacks. It's the fault of our policies driven by economic interests, from uranium to oil. Even this same colonial fact which is being denounced. In our overseas territories they experience the persistence of this mentality. Those territories are exploited solely for their natural resources, without regard of the suffering of the populations nor at the risk of a social explosion that you will now know has come to the Sahel. You asked the soldiers to be doing humanitarian work for humanitarians. You asked them to do politics for diplomats. You asked them to only be the sounding board of the Élysée and therefore of French multinationals. And when you claimed to defend democracy, the people responded by denouncing and rejecting the cheats. The African people have no anti-French feeling, but are anti-French policies. They want to achieve their second independence, that of economic and financial sovereignty. We should close the military bases in Africa and put an end to the French CFA franc. But instead you continue to demand international sanctions, which suffocate the people and reinforce the image of a French policy that is blind to the needs of the people. You have even demanded the end of cultural cooperation with all Malian, Burkinabe and Nigerian artists, blocking the obtaining of visas for students from these states, by applying these unjust collective sanctions. You are attacking the powerful vectors of peace that are cultural and intellectual cooperation. Ms. Kalana and Mr. Vigier, when will neo-colonial arrogance leave our public policies?
Madame Colonna et Monsieur Vigier, quand l'arrogance néocoloniale va-t-elle quitter nos politiques publiques?
Merci Madame la Présidente. Monsieur le député Lecoq.
Mr. Deputy Lecoq, I would want to agree with you. I hope that no one is offended. But I cannot be so, as your words go beyond reality. In Gabon as in Niger, our policies are guided by the two principles, which always govern us. 1. We condemn all coups d'état. 2. We support regional organizations, ECOWAS. In Niger, in Gabon and the countries of Central Africa. This is the reality, and I would also like to remind you that Africa is not reduced to the Sahel and a few rims which call into question France to hide their own failures. Do not do that, Mr. Deputy, I beg you. On the contrary, relations between France and most of the 54 African countries are doing well. It is even doing very well than in 15 years. The volume of our investments has doubled. And in fact our universities are attractive and they welcome today 92,000 African students, or 40% more than in 2017. It is a fact, we have increased our development traits by 50% in 6 years. It is a fact everywhere on the continent we carry out cooperation with scientists, young people, sportsmen, artists. Mr. Deputies, and regarding artists, allow me to say that the measures you mention have never been taken or even requested. And above all we treat Africa on an equal footing. To deal with it, the major challenges of tomorrow, the major issues that are the end of development, the climate, global health. We give support in global governance as in the weight of Africa and African countries. We did it at the G20. We did it at the Security Council. The African Union has just entered the G20 with our support. This is the reality, Mr. Deputies, and this is what we are doing with our African partners. I thank you.
Madam Minister, you heard what the African people are saying. You heard them. Obviously it's not all of Africa. The 2 minutes granted to me do not allow me to give you the full list. But you know very well, even from that ECOWAS as part of the example, that clearly, the former French colonies have a message to give to France, and it is this message you have difficulty hearing.
So what do you think about this matter being brought before the French Parliament? Does it make any difference to you or not? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.